He's the new head coach of the Washington Huskies. He's Chris Peterson back on the show. It's weird saying that, Coach.
Yeah, it might take a minute to get used to, but hey, we like the way it sounds.
Okay, all these years, all these opportunities, you don't have to name names. How many job offers, true job offers, have you had in the last decade?
Not many, because really I just haven't even listened. There really wasn't much interest. There was one or two out there that was, intriguing, and we talked a little bit, but there might have been some opportunities had I truly, but I just had no interest. The timing wasn't right, the fit wasn't right, et cetera. And so I just, I'm just not one to go down that road unless I thought, this might be something.
Did USC offer you the job?
Nope, they did not.
How detailed were the conversations with Pat Hayden?
We had an extensive conversation, and it was awesome. Those guys were great. I really enjoyed them and appreciated them, and I think that those guys were exactly trying to figure things out like I was, and is the fit exactly right? And that's the trick in this whole thing. Everybody gets excited about a job or, a university if you're a recruit, and I really don't think it's any different whether you're a coach or a player trying to figure out where you're going. The fit has to be really, really perfect, and that's when the magic happens. And if it's not, save yourself a lot of headaches. And I just think most places, most people don't do great homework on either side of the fence, and that's where you see a lot of times where you don't get the right fit, and then it doesn't work for anybody.
I felt like, and this is just on the outside looking in, that making the move to Washington – location-wise, just everything about it maybe felt like a bigger Boise State, that you felt comfortable there. You didn't have to be in a big media market. Maybe that's not you, but this was a graduation to Washington. You had, helped rebuild Boise State. You made it into a national power, and it's almost as if you left it in good hands and it was time to move on and you graduated to another job. Fair assessment?
I think all those things are very accurate. There's no question about it. And then, and then you couple that. So you're talking about the fit. That's how I'd kind of describe that. And then just really the timing with the thing as well. And I've always said this. There was never a job out there that I was saying, hey, if that opens up, I'm going to do that. But I think there was a couple jobs out there that are just special in my mind. And certainly this is one of them. I've had the opportunity when I was an assistant in Oregon and then certainly being at Boise State to compete against Washington, and I've always had so much admiration and appreciation for this place. And so, but I still never thought like that. But when this opportunity was presented, a lot of times the feel is just a gut decision or, a gut feel is what you're talking about, and it just felt right. All those things that you just alluded to is exactly right.
Did Oregon reach out to you when Chip Kelly left?
No.
That bother you?
Not at all. They hired a great guy there. Mark and I, when I was coaching there, Mark just started. He was a graduate assistant there. We go way back, and I think he's the perfect guy for that job.
The Texas job and how valuable. Did Texas reach out to you?
No.
I don't know if Texas is overplaying its hand. I know it's a great opportunity, but I think they feel like they can get anybody. I don't know if I get that feeling that Texas is going to be able to get the guy they want. Your thoughts on that job?
I would go back to saying everything I said about this job. It's got to be the right fit. I mean, that's a great place, and there's a lot of great places out there for the right guy and the right fit. And it's just not about throwing a name or a label out there and saying, hey, who's the biggest name out there that we could get? But everybody thinks like that for some reason, and it's really not like that. It might be somebody that's so much lower profile than the names that everybody's talking about. And you see a guy get hired, and they're like, that is the perfect guy. That's it. Or somebody else gets hired, and they go, what are they doing? And half the time, the perfect fit doesn't work out in everybody's mind, and the guy that they were thinking, he's not good, knocks it out of the park.
We're talking to Chris Peterson, Washington head coach, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Will you have purple turf at Washington?
I don't know. It's either going to be that or we're going to dye Lake Washington purple. One of those two probably needs to go to purple. Would you consider it?
No, would you consider it? Would you consider dyeing your turf purple?
No. No, that's not, at Boise that was done so long ago, and that's just part of that heritage and culture there. And purple turf is not part of what goes on here. And,
But it was an advantage, though, Coach, at Boise. You can't deny that. That blue turf was an advantage to you.
The thing that's so funny about that is that we honestly and truly never thought of it as an advantage. People made such a big deal about it that I guess it was, but not for a second when we walked on that turf or walked out, did we even think of it as being blue? And we have, a turf field right next to it that was green, and we didn't think, we're on a green turf now. It just didn't even affect us.
Okay, but you designed jerseys that would blend in. It'd be hard to watch your games because sometimes I would lose your players.
I will say this. It's tougher on TV watching than it is in person.
Okay. All right.
And because I've seen us on TV and go, yeah, that kind of does look a little weird.
What did you do with all the Boise State gear?
You're about the fourth guy that's asked me that. And let me just say this. I got a lot of friends over there that can use some good clothing.
You just left it there?
Well, what am I going to wear it over here?
Well, I don't know. Just you would keep a box there, maybe.
Yeah, I'll have some stuff. So much of my life is there.
Well, what were you allowed to take with you to UW that you had at Boise State? Did you get like the Fiesta Bowl trophy or anything? Do you take anything with you? Nothing.
None of that stuff. So all my personal stuff, but none of that stuff. That's Boise State's, and hey, I didn't win the Fiesta Bowl. I was part of that, like a lot of other people were. But that, at the end of the day, that goes to Boise State.
I was still amazed at that game when you guys came on the field. I'm sitting next to, I can't mention his name, but he's a coach you know well. He said, oh, my God, it's as if the JV came on the field against the varsity. The difference between Boise State and Oklahoma, I felt bad because people said, I'll give you Boise State in 30. I had you guys plus 30 that night.
Did you take us?
Yes, hell yes, I'll take 30. And then all of a sudden, you're running all these crazy plays. And I went, it's one of the best games I've ever seen in person.
Yeah. It was great. It really was. The thing that was weird about that, even, talking about today is, I don't know. That's kind of how we've operated. And the kids just made some spectacular plays.
But you were an underdog, though, Chris. You're not going to be an underdog at UW. You were an underdog at Boise State. You coach differently.
Well, I think you always got to coach with that underdog mentality, and certainly there's going to be a lot of games where we are the underdogs. One of the things that I know about coming here is my life just got more difficult. This is a great conference, unbelievable coaches, really good players. I know this conference inside and out. Just from being in the West and being in the conference before, and so it just got a lot tougher, and we will be underdogs, and we need to have that mentality.
Well, congrats. I know it had to be a big, big decision for you to make, and I think UW did a great thing. But happy holidays to you, Chris, and we'll check in with you hopefully down the road.
Okay. Appreciate you, Dan. Thank you very much.
That's Chris Peterson.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.